What's up, guys? We are currently at the gym right now. It's about 5:30. We've been up for a while now. Got our morning routine in, got our mind right, and now we're about to head off into the gym, even though we don't want to go, even though we don't want to do it. For those of you who do not know, my name is Samuel Mark Ward. I'm a fitness coach. I'm going to be showing you guys from start to finish, from the bottom to the top, exactly everything that I'm doing. Everything that I'm doing, I'm going to be documenting it all for you guys on here. It's going to be just raw, unedited stuff. Every time I go on YouTube, I always see, a lot of just cool thumbnails and hooks and story, but that's just not what I'm about. It took me a while to really find, I guess, my style, or what I wanted to put out there. And I've realized that the best thing to put out there is just to be yourself. Just be yourself, because I can't give you guys insight or wisdom if I'm not gonna just be myself and be raw and talk with you guys how I would just talk to a friend. So with that being said, welcome, friend. Welcome to the YouTube channel. Everything that I do, whether it's content ideas, going to the gym, I always like to write down in my journal. Now, journaling, morning routines, they have gotten hate in the past. But if you're anything like me, it's hard to get started sometimes. It's hard to get your mind in the right mode to go and accomplish things. I'm not one of those people who can just wake up and start working, and just have no distractions and be 100%. I kind of have to get my mind and my body warmed up. And so, I wrote out my three big goals. I don't put a timestamp on these goals. I just kind of write these goals down in my notebook. And when I accomplish them, I'll just set new ones. It's always going to take, anything worth doing is always going to take longer than what you think it's going to take. Then after that, my morning routine, and then I wrote down a couple of just needle movers for today, some big tasks. One of them is filming this video. Even though it might come out crappy, who cares? We're going to post it because that's what you guys need. You guys need to see this. It's raw, it's unedited. This is what it actually is. This is what it actually takes. After that, my devotion, and then I just wrote down just 1 page of journaling. I'm not a huge journaling guy, but I'm trying to do more of it, as the days go by, because it's cool to look back on. I've been writing stuff down in notebooks and doing the daily stuff for about 3 years, but obviously things have changed with it. I used to just write down my devotions. That's one thing that I really stuck with, was just my morning devotion. And starting the day off with God, I think, is important, because it puts your mind and your heart in the right place as you go throughout your day. With that being said, I wanted to talk about something that, if you follow me on Instagram, I put a poll out and I said, what are you guys struggling with the most? And it was mindset and discipline. This camera, let me put it up here more. But see, right now, there's a guy that pulled up right next to me. We're just gonna keep going. Anyways, I put on my IG story, what are you guys struggling with the most, mindset or discipline? Or mindset and discipline was the most voted answer. And I want to let you know right now, you don't have a motivation problem. You don't have a motivation problem. You just have a terrible memory. You have a terrible memory because, I'll put it to you this way. So I'm back home right now. I'm back home from college. And when I'm waking up, these early mornings, 4:30, my mom's already up. She's going to work. She's coming back from a 12-hour shift. And she's tired. I can see it. And that right there, that's one of those things that really, really irks me and really just drives me, right? And I'll find myself, whenever I'm doing my work I'm working on my business. I'm making sure that my clients are getting the best results. Sometimes I'll go on my phone and I'll slack off, or, you know, I'm not being the most productive that I could be. And I forget. And sometimes it's easy to forget your why. It's easy to forget why you even started in the first place. And you just have to remember that has to be like at the forefront of everything that you do. You can't go throughout your day and not have a reason as to what you're doing, right? It's like whenever you're programming something, everything has a reason, everything has a purpose, right? There's a goal to everything. And I see, you know, I wrote down in my journal, it's like so many people get stuck in the average. Their appetite is filled, you know, with an average job, an average house, an average way of life. And these are all just materialistic things. And I go on to say, like, you know, the materialistic things don't necessarily matter so much as what they mean to me. But the saying is it still holds true. You know, so many people, they get stuck in this average way of thinking. And I'm here to tell you that you have to break out of that cycle. You have to break out of that cycle, because if you really want what you want, if you really want that thing that you desire that's been put on your heart, it's not going to be accomplished by doing the same things over and over again that you have been doing. If you want something that you've never had, you have to do something that you've never done. Now, that might just mean doing something that you've done, but to an extent to where you haven't done that before. So like maybe you've worked for a little bit, but you need to like up it. You need to take it to the next level. Or it's doing something that you've never done, instilling a new habit into your life, right? Learning a new skill. And going on your phone and scrolling Instagram for 2 hours a day after you get back from work, or sitting on the couch, it's not going to accomplish that, you know? And I think a lot of people, they get caught up in like the, you know, I don't know what to do, like I'm afraid to make a mistake. Yeah, everyone's going to make a mistake. If someone told you that you were 100 mistakes away from success, would you not go out and try to make those 100 mistakes as quick as possible? Take as much action as you can to get to where you want to get? To get to where you want to be? You know? Everyone says they want it, right? Everyone says they want it. They want this. They want that. They need motivation for this. And motivation is just simply not enough. You have to hate the situation that you're in enough to change. You have to hate the situation that you're in more than the feeling of uncomfort of changing. I butchered that, but you know what I mean. That didn't sound the best, but you know what I mean. You have to hate the situation that you're in. I hate my situation right now, to an extent. Now, am I taking strides? Am I taking steps in the right direction? 100%. Am I anywhere where I want to be right now? Absolutely not. And that uncomfort of not being where I want to be has to be greater than the uncomfort of taking action and stepping outside of my comfort zone. And that has to be the same thing with you guys. I'm going to bring you guys with me, but as I'm going through this, I want you guys to go through this as well. You guys are all on your own journey, and you guys have to stop being average. You guys have to know your why. It's so easy to get distracted in this day and age. That's all it is. We have all the tools, all the necessary information, and sometimes it's too much information. But the problem is there's so much distraction, right? There's so much distraction that it's so easy to veer to the left or veer to the right. It's hard to stay straight and narrow. You know, it's like a horse race, right, guys? You have to put these blinders on as you're going throughout your day. Put these blinders on and don't let yourself fall below the level that you want to hold yourself to in order to reach your goals. Now, does that mean shut everyone out? Does that mean go on some like cringy villain arc? No, that doesn't mean that. But what I mean is, if you have a goal, if you have a desire, if you have things that you want to get done, you're going to have to make sacrifices, and it's up to you to decide what the sacrifices are, right? You can't add things into your life without taking some stuff out of your day. Everyone's busy. Everyone has stuff to do, but it's up to you to decide what's important. Scrolling on Instagram, You know, staying up at night, if that's your thing, cool. Watching Netflix, if that's your thing, cool. But I don't think it is. You know? I think it's time that you recognize what you want and what you're willing to sacrifice in order to get there. And with that, we are going to go to the gym. Peace.